The engines were very cross. Soon, they had all gone, and Diesel trundled straight by. Later, Thomas had gathered the engines again. Then Thomas went to Marin to collect the photographer. Just as the photographer was climbing on board, Thomas saw Diesel. Now Diesel would see the photographer, and he would find out about the new photograph. So Thomas reached lots of steam. It billowed from his boiler and filled the whole station. So Diesel didn't see the photographer, and he trundled straight by. The steam has made my camera wet. I'm sorry, sir. We'll have to wait for it to dry. Tell the engines to come back later to Tidmouth. So all the engines came back later, instead of doing their jobs. At last, the photographer was ready. No one had noticed Diesel wasn't there. Thomas was very relieved. But just then, Diesel oiled round the bend. Diesel was surprised to see all the engines. He screeched to a halt. Rolls of bunting went everywhere.
No one told me there was another photograph.
But I asked Thomas to tell everyone. All the engines looked at Thomas. Thomas felt terrible. Sir Topham Hatt was very cross.
Gordon, you were meant to pick up Mr. Giggles, the famous clown. Emily, you were meant to pick up the brass band. And James, you were meant to pick up the bunting and decorations. None of you arrived, so Diesel had to do all your jobs. And now he's late to do his own work.
Thomas was very upset. It's all my fault, sir. I didn't want Diesel to know about the new photograph. In the last one, he moved right in front of me, on purpose.
I did not. The photographer told me to move.
I did. Perhaps you rolled too far. Thomas knew then he'd made a mistake. I'm sorry, Diesel. I was wrong to think you did it on purpose. And I'm very sorry for causing all this trouble, sir. Soon, all the engines were lined up. The new photograph was taken. Sir, if I do all Diesel's jobs, can he collect a new billboard?
That's a wonderful idea, Thomas.
Diesel agreed. For the rest of the day, Thomas worked hard. He did all Diesel's jobs. And Diesel picked up the new billboard just in time for the celebrations. It was a wonderful party. There were clowns and a brass band. Diesel and Thomas agreed that the new billboard was the best billboard they'd ever seen. Steady Eddie. Edward is one of the oldest engines on the island of Sodu. Edward may not always be the fastest engine, but he is certainly the steadiest. And for Sir Topham Hatt, a steady engine is a really useful engine. One morning, Edward puffed into the docks. Good morning. Then Sir Topham Hatt arrived. The brand new brass water wheel has just arrived from the mainland. It is magnificent. It will be displayed by the waterworks at Great Waterton. Emily, Gordon, and Edward were very excited. They couldn't wait to see the magnificent water wheel. Edward, you will deliver the water wheel to Great Waterton. Edward beamed from buffer to boiler. Gordon and Emily were surprised.